You've done it again, haven't you? Promised yourself today was the day you'd tackle that mountain of emails, finish that project, or finally clean the house. But here you are, it's 7 p.m., and you've done nothing. You keep telling yourself, I'll get to it later. But later never seems to come. Here's the thing. You're not alone. Everyone does it. Whether you're in school, climbing the corporate ladder, or juggling side projects, procrastination doesn't discriminate. It sneaks in when you least expect it. And suddenly, your to-do list is a mile long with nothing crossed off. It doesn't matter how disciplined you are or how many self-help articles you've read. At some point, you've put something off, telling yourself you'll deal with it tomorrow, but tomorrow comes, and so does the same excuse. The cycle continues. But here's the thing. Procrastination isn't just a harmless bad habit. It's a silent killer, stealing your time, happiness, and sometimes even your future. What starts as just one more episode or just 10 more minutes of scrolling snowballs. Little by little, the mountain grows bigger and bigger. Soon, those manageable tasks feel like insurmountable walls. So why do we keep doing it? Why do we sabotage ourselves, even knowing the consequences? Procrastination is more than laziness. It's rooted in fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, and the overwhelming desire to avoid discomfort. It's easier to scroll through your phone than face the anxiety of starting something you're unsure you can finish perfectly. But here's the good news. Once you understand why you procrastinate, you can stop it in its tracks. Procrastination isn't just a personal flaw, it's a habit that can be broken, just like any other. It's time to face it because the longer you let procrastination control you, the more your life slips through your fingers. It's time to take back control. Procrastination isn't just a bad habit, it's deeply rooted in our psychology, shaped by our fears, anxieties, and how we see ourselves. We all say we'll get to that task later, but why do we keep pushing things off, even when we know it's holding us back? The truth is, procrastination is often an emotional response rather than a lack of willpower. We're not just lazy, we're trying to avoid something much deeper: fear, self-doubt, and discomfort. One of the biggest drivers of procrastination is fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of not being good enough. These emotional blockers have the power to paralyze us. When faced with a task that requires effort, the thought of it not being perfect, or the fear that we'll fail, can stop us in our tracks. The more we think about it, the more impossible it seems, and instead of trying, we avoid. It's easier to stay in a comfortable, familiar place of inaction than to risk failure. So we tell ourselves, we'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. Perfectionism is another key player in the procrastination game. It's like two sides of the same coin. Perfectionists set impossibly high standards for themselves. While this might sound like a good thing at first, striving to be the best, it actually becomes a major obstacle. The fear of not meeting those perfect standards keeps us from even starting. We get caught in a cycle of waiting for the right time when we feel we can give something our best. But the truth is, there's never a perfect moment. Perfection is a moving target, and by the time we're ready, the task has snowballed into something bigger and more overwhelming. The result? We procrastinate. Then there's anxiety, the weight of expectations, the pressure of deadlines, the fear of not living up to what's required. Anxiety about what's expected of us or how long something might take can make even simple tasks seem insurmountable. This overwhelming sense of pressure can trigger avoidance. And instead of tackling the task head-on, we numb ourselves with distractions. We turn to our phones, scroll through social media, binge-watch our favorite shows, anything to escape the anxiety. These activities provide a temporary emotional payoff, a sense of relief from the discomfort of the task at hand. In the moment, it feels good to escape. But this relief is short-lived. Here's the trap. The immediate relief is fleeting. The longer we put off the task, the more pressure builds. The anxiety creeps back in and the guilt sets in. The cycle continues. We keep delaying, we keep feeling bad about it, and the task grows bigger in our mind. We end up right back where we started, only further behind. Procrastination is a trapped short-term emotional relief with long-term consequences. But here's the silver lining. Once we understand the psychology behind procrastination, we can start to break the cycle. Recognizing that fear, perfectionism, and anxiety are driving our avoidance is the first step in changing how we approach our tasks and ultimately how we approach life itself. The key is not in forcing ourselves to work harder, but in understanding the deeper emotional forces at play. Once we address those, we can take real action and move forward. It's time to stop running from the discomfort. The first step is always the hardest. but it's the only way to break free from procrastination. And once you start, you'll realize it's not the task itself that's holding you back. It's everything you've been telling yourself about it. Procrastination might feel like a temporary escape from discomfort, but its long-term impact can be devastating. The consequences reach far beyond unfinished tasks or delayed deadlines. They ripple through every aspect of your life, from personal growth to career prospects, relationships, and mental health. Procrastination doesn't just steal your time, it steals your future. One of the most painful consequences of procrastination is the missed opportunities that pile up over time. Whether it's advancing in your career, building a new skill, or starting a passion project, procrastination often closes doors. We've all said, "I'll do that tomorrow," only for tomorrow to slip away until the opportunity is gone. And when it's gone, the regret is unavoidable. You look back and wonder, what could have been? Every time you put something off, you push that opportunity further away, and eventually you realize that what could have been a defining moment in your life is now out of reach. But missed opportunities aren't the only consequence. Procrastination also fuels a cycle of guilt that's hard to escape. Each time you delay a task, a bit of guilt builds up. Over time, this guilt compounds, and before you know it, it turns into self-doubt. You begin to question your worth, your ability to follow through, and your motivation. The more you procrastinate, the more the guilt compounds. Instead of overcoming procrastination, you find yourself stuck in a loop where guilt makes it even harder to take action. It's a vicious cycle that can leave you paralyzed, feeling like you're too far gone to make progress. This guilt doesn't just stay in your head, it can start to damage your relationships too. When you procrastinate, you let people down. Whether it's a partner, friend, or coworker, failing to follow through on promises or neglecting responsibilities strains your relationships. Missed dates, forgotten anniversaries, delayed commitments, and unresolved conflicts pile up. The people in your life may feel unimportant or frustrated by your inaction. Over time, this erodes trust and can lead to resentment. As your relationships start to suffer, the feelings of guilt and shame only deepen, making it even harder to break the cycle. The toll procrastination takes on your mental health is profound. Stress, anxiety, and even depression can stem directly from putting things off. When you procrastinate, you're always aware of the tasks looming over you, creating a low-level anxiety that never goes away. The longer you avoid what needs to be done, the more overwhelming it becomes. This constant mental pressure drains your energy and motivation, making it harder to focus on anything else. Over time, the weight of procrastination becomes unbearable, leading to a sense of hopelessness. What started as a simple delay becomes part of your identity, and you begin to feel like you're stuck in an unbreakable cycle. But here's the thing. The key to breaking the cycle is recognizing these consequences and taking small, deliberate steps to reclaim your time and life. Every day you wait is another day lost. But every small action you take is a step toward a healthier, more fulfilling future. Procrastination may seem like a way to avoid discomfort, but in the long run, it only creates a life full of regret, guilt, and missed opportunities. It's time to take control, break free from the cycle, and start living the life you deserve. Overcoming procrastination isn't about one burst of willpower. It's about consistently building small habits that push you toward action over time. The key to lasting change is developing habits that support your goals and break the cycle of procrastination. And one of the best ways to overcome procrastination is by building small, consistent habits. When you focus on consistency, not perfection, you create a system where action becomes the default, not procrastination. Over time, those small efforts add up and lead to significant progress. It's all about developing a routine that reduces decision fatigue. The fewer decisions you have to make about what to do next, the more likely you are to take action. Start by planning your most important tasks for the time of day when you're at your best. If mornings are tough for you, start with lighter tasks and save heavier work for when you're more alert. This strategy helps you build momentum throughout the day. Mindfulness techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or journaling can help keep you grounded and focused, preventing procrastination before it takes over. By tuning into your feelings and becoming aware of the emotions that trigger procrastination, you can start breaking that cycle before it starts. Building resilience starts with small challenges. Gradually work up to bigger ones as your confidence grows. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Embrace discomfort, knowing it's a part of pushing through procrastination. Tracking your progress is key to building long-term habits. Keeping a journal or checklist is a powerful motivator. Set aside 5 minutes at the end of each day to reflect on what you accomplished. Not only will this keep you on track, but it also helps you celebrate small wins, reinforcing the habits that are slowly transforming your approach to productivity. Building long-term habits to overcome procrastination takes patience and consistency. It's about creating a routine that works for you, being mindful of emotional triggers, and building resilience to push through discomfort. It's a process that doesn't happen overnight, but with time, those small habits add up to lasting change. As James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." Procrastination isn't a life sentence, it's a habit, and habits can be broken with consistent action. Overcoming procrastination won't happen overnight, but with each small step, you build momentum and move closer to your goals. The best part, you have the power to change. Be kind to yourself on this journey. Procrastination is something everyone faces at some point, whether you're just starting to tackle it or have been struggling with it for years. It's normal to slip up, but what matters is how you respond. Practice self-compassion. Instead of beating yourself up, view each setback as a chance to learn and grow. You've got everything you need to break free from procrastination. Every small action, no matter how insignificant it feels, adds up over time. So here's your challenge. Take one small step today. It doesn't have to be big, just get started. Whether it's writing one sentence, responding to one email, or setting a 5-minute timer, taking that first step is the key to breaking the cycle. The power is in your hands. Let's conquer procrastination together, one step at a time. You've got this.